Now let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Play ball!
Aston Villa almost staged a comeback in the Champions League game against PSG. They won that game 3-2, but PSG go through after winning the first leg 3-1. In the second half, Aston Villa considered 2 goals in the first half, even though it ended 2-1, but in the second half they came out fighting, ended 3-2. Good game for Aston Villa, good game for PSG, but PSG deserve to go through, but good game for Aston Villa in general. Okay, if you look at this game, we said it before the show that fighting two fronts is always hard. You are trying to score, but if you are trying to score, you have to defend as well. So sometimes it's hard for you to fight, especially if you are beating a team like maybe Barcelona, PSG, this big team that can attack you if you leave a whole pocket of space at the back. But they tried. Aston Villa actually tried. Even this campaign in general was good for them, even though they are out. But good game for them. They won against PSG 3-2.
Good game for them. It's just that I'm kind of disappointed. I saw it coming, you know. I said it, and it's very tough for you to fight a battle on two fronts because you have to score to survive, and you also need to keep the enemy from scoring you as well. But look at that. Having that in your mind, and then you go out and you concede the blunder of the first goal, and then you also concede the second blunder of the second goal before you even score your own first goal. That's why I keep saying it, and I keep sounding like a broken record, but I'm going to say that how you start the game determines the pace of the game. You start the game at the blow of the whistle. You don't start the game after you've received 1 or 2 punches, because you are not Real Madrid that can come back, if at all they can come back, you know. So for me, I felt bad for the first game. The defenders did not respond fast enough to the threat of Hakimi for the first one. The second goal, we all know, is a mistake from what's his name now? Martinez, and he spilled that ball. But you know, it is what it is.
Okay, if you look at that game now, so that game in general, PSG obviously deserve to go through based on the 180 minutes played, but Aston Villa actually gave good account themselves in this campaign.
Nobody deserved to go through. What I saw last night, they didn't deserve nothing. If it was against the Liverpool side, I agree that from 180 minutes they deserve to go through. But from last night, they didn't deserve nothing. Because in the first leg, like John said, you take the first punch, then you roll into the game. Now they rolled into the game for the first leg when they won 3-1. But last night wasn't really, because we say you start from the blow of the first whistle. Aston Villa did start from the blow of the first whistle. If you look at that game, the way Aston Villa ran into that game, they didn't just come into the tunnel, walked with their regular. They ran into the game. Like before the even whistle start, Aston Villa don't start the match. Because look at it, this is Villa Park. Was the first banner the camera rolled on, and the performance from the first whistle till they considered that goal was still top notch, because they kept on digging deep. They kept on trying to see if they can break down the PSG defense, which was not coming forth until they got it on the break. And look at where they got it on the break. It was 3 against 2. I think it was 2 defenders against 3 attackers for the PSG side. And you see the Hakimi making that run, and Martinez making that spill. You get from that cross. So Martinez error, they felt like, okay, fine, we can still go in. And after that goal, you saw that PSG held on to the ball for 5 minutes, trying to conserve, trying to do wuru to the answer. Anything may happen, we don't win this one. You see, they held on to the ball, they played defensively. They started passing backward passes. Nobody was kind of coming forward to see anything in the Aston Villa attack. And when Aston Villa got the ball back, all thanks to Amadou Onana, what happened? They kept on digging deep for the second goal until they got an error again, and they hit on the break the second time. So it was Aston Villa starting the game, but not really clinical enough in front of goal, because they needed someone who was going to be clinical in front of goal, and that was the only thing that was missing in that game: clinicality.
Okay, let's talk about a particular player in this Aston Villa squad, Rashford. He played very well, especially in that second half. He had 1 assist in this game. Even after the game, Emery was talking about the 40 million pounds clause in his contract. He said like they can't talk about it now until the end of the season.
Yes.
But if you look at the way he played like a man that is reborn. He pressed more than everybody. He was. I think there's this particular shot that he actually kicked that almost entered hit the back of the net. But I think since he moved to Aston Villa, he has done well for himself.
He's done well for himself. He's regular Rashford, we know. Nobody said Rashford is not a good player. You get. But when there was a debate about where is Rashford naturally potent, he's not potent as a 9. You can play him as a 9. He will give you the numbers of trying to drop deep into midfield.
But
he's not going to camp.
But
I disagree with you.
He's not
his
going to
best his best goal scoring season has come playing in that 9th position. Argue with the numbers.
What I wanted to ask is
argue with the numbers, man.
And that year there was a Lukaku in the team.
Argue with the numbers.
What I want to ask when we say this that his best position or not is that if we say that his best position is not number 9, why is coach starting number 9? Imagine that you have your Watkins that is traditionally number 9 for you, and you prefer to start him ahead of him. So now, probably he's doing well.
In a game like this, like we say tactically, in a game like this, you don't need your player to be one, because when you have just one person forward, it means defenders can read what the instruction is. Every pass goes through that person. But when you have somebody who is making diagonal runs,
I disagree with you, man.
Defenders, you're making a run from the left back. Your left back will not track you to the centre half position. You get me? Now, if you're playing as a striker and you see the likes of Harry Kane, the likes of Benzema, they drop into midfield. Those runs coming in to midfield, one defender chases you out, or perhaps one defender follows you out of position. There's a room there for somebody else to run into. Now you get the point. That's why players or coaches perhaps play players of that kind in positions like that. You get in positions like that because when you make that run off that defender wants to perhaps close down on you so that you don't get the ball. By doing so, he leaves room for it indirectly because it's not calculated. Indirectly or perhaps subconsciously, he leaves room for somebody else to run into that pocket space. Okay, and you saw that in the game yesterday night where Telemans was running into pocket spaces behind Rashford. Morgan Rogers was running into pocket spaces.
I will still answer you one question. Telemans and Morgan Rogers, for all the flurry of running into pocket spaces, what's the productivity, man?
They got the goal for themselves.
What's the productivity?
They got assists for themselves.
They didn't get any goal, man. They didn't get any goal. And at the end of the day, the best person to finish an opportunity was drawing everybody out, and the other people who were there could not finish.
What I want, as if you are if you are board of Aston Villa, do you think you should activate that 40 million?
I will not be activating the 40 million pounds. Yes, you should go back to Man U.
What do you think?
But this guy blood.
I will not be activating it.
Normally we don't trust. See, it is. He's answered because Babylon in blood, but I'll just give you a reason why I won't activate the clause because.
So after calling me bad belly, you self no one. You self no activate the clause, but you are calling me bad belly for no activate. I will not activate it.
You get your reason because of bad belly.
It's not bad belly. I will not activate it. Go and sue me.
You don't need Marcus Rashford that will turn up after the contract has been given.
Thank you. That's why I will not activate it in the first place.
Because this season, say for seeing Marcus Rashford for Aston Villa, everybody saying he has reborn. Nobody reborn at James Bond. Because reborn. He's played almost 20 matches for Aston Villa. How many goals does he have to count for it? Goals and assists. And yet he's on form. Because if this performance for Aston Villa is Marcus Rashford being on form, this performance against PSG, or this performance from January till now of Marcus Rashford is been on form with, I think 4 assists in the Premier League or 5 assists in the Premier League and 3 goals so far for Aston Villa. If that 7-goal record, and in this one now 2 assists perhaps and 6 chances created, which is the most by a single player from Aston Villa's side in this game, is Rashford being on form. Bro, we want to see a better Rashford. And activating that contract, we'll let see, okay, fine, if you activate contract, what next is going to
I think the only reason I would keep Rashford in that side is, one, if he takes a massive pay cut, and if he isn't being a prima donna. A prima donna is an entitled child who wants to play every game, start every game, where you know, say you are not a Benzema, you are not a Harry Kane. So I would keep him and get a marquee signing to join the team.
Let's see
as
what
a
happens if Aston Villa is going to activate that 40 million pounds come end of the season. Okay, let's talk about PSG. We have talked about Aston Villa. They did well in that game. They won that game, but PSG is a team that everybody should look out for. They sold Mbappe last season, and everybody was saying, okay, will they drop off? Will they move further in the Champions League? Because the only reason they were keeping Mbappe in that club all these years is because of the Champions League. If they have maybe won it 3 years ago, 4 years ago, probably sold him to Real Madrid a very long time ago. But they kept him for a very long time. They couldn't win him, but they brought in a good coach. Enrique is a good coach. Then they are in the semi-final of this Champions League. But in 180 minutes, you say that they don't deserve to go through, but if you look at it, the way they play, I think they played good football too.
They play good football
in the first 90 minutes.
No, I disagree with you.
Last night it wasn't.
I disagree with you because you are the same person that will come on this show and say that if you play in your first leg, you win by a good margin, you can come to the second leg and lock up shop. pack private jet, pack wall of Jericho, pack everything. Now you are the one that is carrying. Are you seeing that you are having double standards in this scenario?
In this one,
now?
yes. See.
Thank you.
Because before this game, we said PSG is still going to come to Park the Prince. They are a big side. They did it against Liverpool. Played Liverpool half field and still won. Now waiting to talk now. Waiting to talk.
And
so,
they did.
And if for them to do it against Liverpool, against Aston Villa, they call the Park boss. Oh, you got time to see they play well. How?
They don't have any incentive to come and play attacking
against
ball.
Liverpool, champions of England.
But they are losing.
Champions elect.
But they are losing then.
Wait now.
The difference.
Champions of England. Liverpool elect, because right now they never crown them champions, but champions elect because they are on the way to when we crown them next week, we'll go talk about them. Champions of England elect, most informed team in Premier League, play against PSG, home and away. They pack balls, they play conservative football, they try manage score one for Park the Prince. Come Anfield, shut down, Liverpool go destroy these people, can't lose. You get then PSG now can't win for their home for Park the Prince 1-0. 3-1 against Aston Villa. Will be 7th. I mean 8th for table, 8th in the Premier League table this season, or 7th in the Premier League table this season. Battling for top 4 because if they win their next matches, they can still enter the top 5 position. Now playing against an Aston Villa side that is not in the top 6.
Bro,
wait now, Aston Villa side that is not in the top 6 of the Premier League.
You cannot use the two scenarios as a yardstick.
Aston Villa come with this kind of performance, and
you cannot use the two performance as a yardstick.
If not by one match
against Liverpool at Anfield, they were chasing the game. They had already lost the first game. They needed to come and play big and dominate Liverpool in that encounter. In this scenario, they've won comfortably at home. And coming to Villa Park, where you know that Villa Park are if you come outside and play forward creative football, Villa can expose your weakness, so you conserve. It's nothing bad about it. And for you to say that they didn't, did you see that they scored their first 2 goals before Villa had a shout in this game?
On the break.
For all the talk about Villa started the game at the first break. Irrespective, man.
You said by
go.
Wait, now, calm down. You said by performance. For me, they don't deserve them.
I disagree with you, man.
From the first leg, maybe.
If it was Madrid now, it would be a different scenario.
See, if Madrid passed the ball.
If it was Madrid, it would be a different scenario.
Well, let's see what happens in this game, because depending on how you want to see it. No coach, actually, if you are leading 2-1, depending on how you want to see your tactics, he tried to play his tactics, and he got the first 2 goals, which will make them maybe comfortable in that game, making it comfortable. Aston Villa came back to score 3 in that game. The both goalkeepers actually saved both of them because they missed a whole lot of chances. The Roma saved a whole lot of goals to keep PSG in this tie. Martinez too, I think he kept about 2 or 3 one-on-ones in this game to keep Aston Villa in that game, even though he made a mistake for the second game, but that game ended 3-2. Okay, finally, guys, do you think that PSG has what it takes to win the Champions League? Because that's what we say. If they beat this one, they are going to play either Real Madrid or Arsenal, depending on who wins today. But if they look at it with your spiritual eyes, you think they feel win them, yes or no?
For me, no.
Champions League.
No. Say, before this game yesterday, wait now.
No.
Before this game yesterday, we count how many times PSG don't come England, come win match. 4. Before this game yesterday, we count how many times. 4 games, they don't come England, come win. Now, if they go against Arsenal, which means their old hope, not to wait for their home. That's if now Arsenal qualify. You understand me? So for me now, if Arsenal beats Real Madrid, if later in this Champions League stage, it only means that PSG will have to come to London and grind out the result again, which is going to be another hard task for them to do.
Okay, let's see what happens in
Let's not forget that Arsenal have a better record in Paris.
Let's see what happens in this game. Aston is playing Real Madrid today to see who they face. If they are anybody wins today, because somebody has to win today. Arsenal has a 3-goal lead going to Santiago. If they qualify, they play PSG. But for PSG, even though they lost against Aston Villa, they go through to the semi-final of the Champions League.